What if everything you thought you knew about satisfying a woman was wrong? I'm Dr. Mika Hayashi, urologist with over a decade helping men just like you. And I need to be honest with you. There's something critical that nobody ever taught you. Not in school. Not from your friends. Nowhere. And because of this missing piece of knowledge, 94% of men are unknowingly missing what matters most to women during intimacy. Now, before you click away thinking you already know this, let me ask you something. When you're intimate with a woman, do you focus mainly on one thing? The physical act itself? If you said yes, you're not alone. Almost every man does this. But here's what's going to shock you. That's exactly what's holding you back. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 pathways to female satisfaction that most men never discover in their entire lives, including the one pathway that 94% of women actually need, but most men completely ignore. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change everything. Here's what 94% of men believe their whole lives, and it's costing them everything. They think that physical closeness, the back and forth motion, the traditional act of intimacy, that's what brings a woman satisfaction. That if they just focus on that, everything else will work itself out. But here's what decades of research actually reveals. And pay close attention, because this changes everything. 94% of women cannot experience deep satisfaction from that alone. Read that again. 94%. That's nearly every woman you've ever been with. So what does this mean? It means there's something else, something most men never learn about that she actually needs. And when you don't know what that is, you're both left frustrated, confused, and wondering what went wrong. But here's where it gets even more important. There's a second thing. That's sabotaging your intimate connection right now. And this one's sneaky, because it seems like you're doing the right thing. But you're not. And I'm going to reveal exactly what that is in just a moment. But first, let me tell you why understanding this matters more now, at your age, than it ever has before. If you're over 50, you've probably noticed something. Intimacy has changed. Maybe it's not as spontaneous. Maybe there's more pressure. Maybe you're wondering if you've still got it. Here's what most men don't realize. The game has actually shifted in your favor. Younger guys are still obsessed with performance, speed, intensity, all the things that actually don't matter. But you have something they'll never have at 25. Patience, presence, the ability to slow down and actually pay attention. And that's exactly what women want. Especially mature women. They're not looking for a young guy trying to prove himself. They're looking for a man who understands that real pleasure isn't about the destination. It's about the journey. But here's the problem. Even if you have patience, even if you want to take your time, if you don't know what actually works, you're just guessing. And guessing leads to frustration. For both of you. So let me break down exactly what you need to know. Starting with that second thing I mentioned, and I guarantee you've been doing this too. Here's the second misunderstanding. And this one's important. You're focusing too much on the outcome. I know that might sound backwards, but hear me out. Because the research on this is very clear. The more you focus on whether she reaches satisfaction, the more pressure she feels. And the more pressure she feels, the harder it becomes. It creates unnecessary tension. Think about it from her perspective. She can sense when you're fixated on a specific result. She can feel that expectation. And that expectation prevents her from relaxing and enjoying the moment. Women don't need to reach a specific point to enjoy intimacy. What they actually need is to feel safe, connected, and free from pressure. The interesting part is the moment you stop worrying about the outcome, that's when connection deepens naturally. But here's the part that brings everything together. To really understand why this matters, you need to know something that most men never learn. How her body's response system actually works. And I'm not talking about basic information. I'm talking about the different pathways that create genuine satisfaction. There are 5 main ways that women experience deep connection and satisfaction. Most men only know about one or two, and they completely miss the most important one, which is why they struggle. Let me show you all 5. And more importantly, let me show you which one matters most. Because once you understand this, everything else makes sense. Pathway number 1. External stimulation. This is the most reliable pathway. 94% of women require this. The external structure isn't just a small area. It extends internally, creating a connected network of pleasure tissue. Direct or indirect touching, rubbing, gentle attention triggers blood flow and arousal. But here's the key: direct contact can be too intense at the beginning. Start with indirect pressure around the area, not directly on it. Many women prefer circular movements or up and down motions, but preferences vary widely. The key is paying attention to how her body responds. Pathway number 2. Internal stimulation. This involves the G area, located about 1 to 2 inches inside, on the front wall toward her belly button. But here's what recent research reveals: although no single structure consistent with a distinct G-spot has been identified, the vagina is highly dynamic, with an active role in arousal. The anatomical relationships between external and internal structures create a connected complex. When properly activated during entry, this can produce intense satisfaction. Use a gentle "come here" motion with your fingers, soft at first, then gradually increasing pressure if she responds positively. Pathway number 3. Deep stimulation. The vagina also contains what researchers call the A spot and C spot. These are deeper areas that can be activated during entry. Certain positions, like woman on top variations or deeper angles, allow better contact with these areas. But timing matters. These deeper zones only become responsive once she's already highly aroused. Pathway number 4. Chest stimulation. Some women can reach satisfaction solely from chest or nipple attention. Nipples contain many nerve endings and activate similar brain regions as intimate stimulation. Research shows this triggers unique pleasure pathways in the brain, making the chest a highly responsive zone that shouldn't be overlooked. Pathway number 5. Blended experience. This occurs when multiple areas are activated simultaneously, for example, external and internal together. With experience, activation of these zones integrates into a complete sensory experience that reliably produces deep pleasure. The easiest combination involves simultaneous external and internal focus. The experience is incredibly powerful, essentially combining multiple sensations into one overwhelming release. Now here's what you do with this information. Don't try to hit all 5 pathways in one session. That's overwhelming. Instead, focus on 1 or 2 and do them extremely well. Start with external stimulation, because that's what works for 94% of women. Master this first, before moving to anything else. Use variety, light touch, firmer pressure, circular motions, up and down, side to side. Pay attention to her breathing, to how her body responds. That tells you everything. Here's a pro technique. Coordinate multiple pathways. If you're using your fingers internally, use your other hand or your mouth for external stimulation simultaneously. This creates that blended experience that many women describe as unforgettable. But here's something critical. Don't follow a script. Every woman is different. Every encounter is different. Even with the same woman, what works one night might not work the next. There is wide diversity in how women like being touched. Some prefer direct contact. Others prefer indirect pressure. Some don't like certain touches at all. The key is staying present, paying attention, responding to her cues in real time. Now let me tell you the one thing that makes all of this actually work. Here's what truly separates good lovers from unforgettable ones. It's not the physical techniques, it's the mental and emotional connection. True satisfaction in intimate relationships comes from attunement, responsiveness, and genuine connection. It's about being present, paying attention to her cues, understanding what she enjoys, and responding in a way that makes her feel truly seen and desired. When you tune into her body, her breathing, her subtle sounds, even the way she moves, you're sending a clear message that you care about her pleasure as much as your own. This kind of attentiveness transforms the experience. Research published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine confirms this. Women describe satisfaction from external stimulation as sharp, bursting, electrical, while satisfaction from internal stimulation is described as more diffuse, longer-lasting, deep, and more psychologically satisfying. But here's what matters most. The psychological component is just as important as the physical. Imagine being able to anticipate what she likes before she even says a word, knowing exactly when to change pace, when to increase pressure, when to tease just enough to drive her wild with anticipation. That level of responsiveness doesn't just make intimacy more enjoyable, it builds trust, deepens emotional connection, and strengthens the overall bond between you. Remember what I said at the beginning? The biggest misunderstanding is focusing on the destination. When both partners focus on shared pleasure rather than performance, it removes anxiety and pressure. Intimacy becomes a space for fun, exploration, and genuine connection, rather than a task to complete or a goal to achieve. And here's something crucial for men over 50 to understand. As we age, physical changes happen. That's natural. But those changes don't diminish your ability to create incredible experiences. In fact, they enhance it, because you're less focused on quick performance and more focused on genuine connection. You have patience. You have confidence. You understand that slow builds intensity, and that's exactly what creates the most powerful experiences. The goal isn't to treat satisfaction as a checklist. The focus should be on creating pleasure, connection, and excitement for both partners. Understand the different pathways. Experiment with different areas. Build mental arousal through teasing and flirting. And most importantly, relax and enjoy the experience yourself. The more confident and present you are, the more likely she is to experience satisfaction and want more. When you embrace this approach, when you focus on connection over performance, presence over pressure, the rewards aren't just physical. They spill over into every aspect of your relationship, building a foundation of trust, excitement, and mutual satisfaction that lasts far beyond the bedroom. Great lovers aren't defined by techniques alone. They're defined by how well they connect, communicate, and create an environment where both partners feel safe, excited, and fully engaged. Over time, these skills become natural, almost instinctive, and your partner will begin to crave your touch, your attention, your presence, not just physically, but emotionally as well. This isn't about rushing to the finish line or obsessing over a goal. It's about sharing the journey, exploring pleasure together, and celebrating the bond you create along the way. Mastering these principles doesn't just make you better in bed, it makes you a partner who understands her desires, responds to her needs, and creates moments of pure joy and connection. Now, here's what you need to do right now. If this video just changed how you think about female pleasure, smash that like button. That tells YouTube to show this to more men who desperately need this information. Then, drop a comment below and answer this. Which of the 5 pathways did you not know about? Or what's been your biggest challenge when it comes to her satisfaction? Your comment helps other men know they're not alone and creates real conversation. And this is critical. Subscribe to this channel and turn on that notification bell, because I'm releasing content every single week. Real medical science, practical techniques, designed specifically for men over 50 who want to create deeper connections and unforgettable experiences. Share this video. Text it to a friend who could benefit, because the more men who understand how female pleasure actually works, the better all our relationships become. I'm Dr. Mika Hayashi. Remember, gentlemen, the biggest mistake is focusing on the destination. Focus on the journey instead. Stay present, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.